the latest edition in the Marvel Universe film thing is Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty decent. What do you think, Dan? You watched it. What do you think about it? Did you enjoy it? Did you love it, hate it?
I loved it.
What do you
I thought it
think?
was real good. I thought it's one of my favorites in a long time. Like, I know it's not really a high bar where we've had stuff like Brave New World and whatever, but this is. I thought this was really good. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought. I mean, when it first got announced, I was like, don't really care. Then the adverts came out, and I was like, that looks better than I thought. And then the film was a lot deeper than I thought, and not silly. And I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good watch. What about you?
That was alright.
Yeah, no, I
Found it.
know.
I found the first half mega boring.
Really?
I just got really bored. Like, I didn't. Be honest, like I don't really care that much about the characters. I thought I'd enjoy it more than I did. I don't know, maybe I was like tired or something. But yeah, like that first like half or so until they sort of hit New York or whatever city they were, like I just found it really boring. Like I think it dragged a little too long on
Okay.
that whole like opening plot thing. And then yeah, once the sort of like the second half or third, whatever, however long that bit was from the when we were actually in New York or the city, was it in New York? I'm assuming so.
Manhattan
They're
or
almost always in New
whatever, or
York.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something. So yeah, from that point on, I enjoyed it. I was never like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Uh-huh.
It never kind of left third gear for me.
Very fair, yeah. And I mean, there's not really much of a plot here to go into. That was the one thing. It was very light on story, which I didn't mind so much because, like you said, I'm not really invested in any of these characters.
No,
But
no.
I actually was quite surprised with how much I enjoyed them as a whole. As like a team, I was quite surprised. We can talk spoiler things anyway because there's a lot of obvious things. Plus, Marvel have ruined this film on Instagram and everything already.
Yeah, I mean, there's only really that one big. Well, it's not even big. There isn't really anything you can spoil in this film, really, is there? Because it's sort of
I think there's
nothing
two. There's
major.
kind of two moments, in my opinion, where you'd be a bit
Yeah.
like So I'll touch upon them anyway. But I mean, the central plot really is what's her name? I can't remember her name. The boss that's kind of got them.
Elena?
No. The boss. That's,
Oh, oh yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Blonde lady,
Well, anyway, so
black
she's
blonde lady.
yeah, she's kind of holding this team together, and they're kind of working all against each other to delete evidence of something they were doing where they shouldn't have been doing. Essentially, that's kind of the plot. There's not really much going on, like we said. So you kind of get to this point where Elena ends up in this building, gonna destroy something, and then what's his name? Fake Captain America's there, and then you've got Taskmaster who's also there. Ghost is also there. I thought this scene, like this little fight scene here, I loved it. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. I quite enjoyed the opening. It was a bit of a harsh 180 because, like, obviously this whole group has basically formed because she's been kind of, I can't remember, the lady has been
Victoria, something like that.
moving in the background. Like, she's been setting this up for a long time. So it just felt a bit odd
Yeah.
that she became the bad guy, really. I mean, she's not. It's very boys, isn't it?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's extremely boys, whereas like she's kind of in charge. She's a bit of a dick. She's kind of using them for her
Valentina.
own sort of Valentina. So yeah, she's kind of using them for her own sort of self gain and stuff. But yeah, it felt a bit like we missed something in the middle. Like it just kind of was like, oh my god, things are happening. She's kind of in court, which never really went anywhere. And it was like, I need to get rid of all evidence of what's been going on.
Yeah.
But we never really saw what's been going on.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much Bob, wasn't it? So again, if you haven't seen it, this is kind of light spoilers for the plot, but they have basically been working on this like superhuman thing called Sentry, which is Lewis Pullman plays Bob. I thought he was really good. I was quite surprised with how much I ended up enjoying Sentry, and I think as we go forward, this guy could be massive. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got a really cool power set. I know he's essentially Homelander or Superman, I get it, but I actually really liked what they did with him, considering we haven't had any prior thing to Sentry. Like, I know obviously comic book readers, you know who it is. I had no idea who he was. And I
Never
think
either.
rumored casting first was Mark from Invincible. I can't remember his name in real life. Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Oh yes,
He would have
yeah,
been cool in the role, but I really like Lewis Pullman. I thought he did a really good job.
yeah,
And that first
yeah. He
action
was,
scene you get where he's like gunned down, where he's just Bob, was awesome.
yeah,
I love that. See like the
yeah.
bullets falling down. I thought that was very cool. But I thought the whole group dynamic in this scene specifically, I really like. What's his name? Sorry, fake Captain America. I can never remember his actual name. John Walker.
No. Yes, John Walker.
I
Yeah.
really like John Walker, and I liked him so much more after this. Do you not like him?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm fucking sick of these of everyone trying to be Captain America when they're not. And I understand he's a completely different version, but I don't want to see it anymore. Like personally, I'm just a bit like we're still sort of retreading the whole like, oh, you're kind of Captain America, but a bit of a dick, and then we've got another Captain, and there's like three different Captain Americas, and it's just like, oh, can we just be someone else? I would have liked it if we kind of, there's sort of inklings that the whole Shield thing might go, which I'd be kind of happy about. But yeah, he's fine. He was just kind of there though. Really, it was sort
Yeah.
of like he's just kind of a dick. He's kind of annoying. Turns out to be kind of alright at the end. It was just a bit. It was slightly generic. I didn't. It was probably my least favorite part of this,
Oh,
to be honest with you.
really? Who was
I
your
really don't care for him.
Who's your favorite part of this team then? Because obviously, let's be real. This team is about to be very, very important as we go along.
Yeah, that's a good question, Dan. I mean, I like Elena, I
She's
do.
sick.
But I don't know if that's more a case of I love Florence Pugh rather
Yeah.
than the character. Like, I'll be honest with you, this team could not exist, and it would not phase me in the
Oh
slightest.
wow.
I don't care for the team at all. I think David Harbour in this is horrific.
Really?
Like he drove me nuts.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I really don't. I found it very unfunny, like throughout, and I think it was like obnoxiously loud and obnoxiously like. Don't be wrong, right? Similar to when you watch films, there were things he did where I went,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was at no point really was I like, oh yes, come on, David, here he comes, boy.
Yeah.
It was a bit. It's a bit too on the nose, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like, oh, I'm the crazy foreign man. Whoa! And it's like, all right, buddy. Like, do you know what I mean? Can we just? It's fine in spots, but it was like the entire film was him just going.
Yeah.
It was a bit like, can we just a
Just
little bit, just bring it down a little bit? But I know I'm kind of in the minority as well, though. I don't know what it is about Marvel this year, but people seem to be gassed about it, and I'm
well,
just
yeah,
like,
there seems to be a
kind
lot
of
of
stinks.
there
I
seems,
don't
yeah,
really understand.
this is the most negative
What?
I've seen you on Marvel in a long time because there's been
Yeah.
films like Quantum Mania where you've enjoyed, let's be honest, and stuff like that where you've probably enjoyed a bit more, whereas the last 2 or 3 releases you've kind of been a bit like, I don't really care, which is fair. Like with this, I can see issues with it, like with the team. Obviously, we've only seen bar Bucky. We've only seen these characters like once. So for them to then go, oh, these are a big group now going forward, and you care about them, I was a bit like, I don't know. But it ended up working in my favour. I think I just enjoyed having different characters on screen for a while. Like,
Yeah, it's fair.
let's get this out of the way. We all knew it was coming. Taskmaster lasts about 10 seconds. Which I thought was very funny, actually. I liked it.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but also a bit like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why bother?
Yeah.
Really? Because I think if it had made like a big, it was a joke, wasn't it? If it was something where it happened and it kind of become a bit of a plot point where like they were accidentally killing people and stuff, and it was like that's kind of
Yeah.
what their whole thing is that they're still trying to figure out where's like the Avengers, the real Avengers, were very much save everybody and save the day. These were more like making mistakes and accidentally like killing people and not really caring about it because they're supposed to be more of the dark Avengers. I would have liked that, but it was literally just like, I killed you, done. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess it was like a cheap laugh, but it just
Yeah.
felt a bit like, I felt more sorry for the actress than anything, because I just think, I hope she got paid well for it. Like, what? Why? Why
Yeah.
even bother like bringing her in for a case of at least wait till halfway through or something?
I mean, yeah, this was literally the first 25 minutes, wasn't it? I was like, oops.
If that, she had about a minute of screen time,
Yeah.
if that. Like,
I mean,
So
that
yeah,
got a laugh out of me. I think I saw the light side in it because, let's be honest, from when Black Widow came out, everyone was just moaning about it. This isn't the real Taskmaster, blah, 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 blah. And I think they knew what they were doing with the character. I reckon they had this in the idea for a long time. But it made me laugh just because of all the negativity they got. And they just went, yeah, don't worry about it. Which I thought was funny. My biggest surprise character out of this whole film was Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I like Ghost.
Really impressive because in Ant-Man and the Wasp made no connection for me. I didn't care. Didn't ever wanted to see this character again. So to then see her in this one, and she's like the only one with actual powers, and I was really surprised with how they used her. I thought she was really good. I really liked her.
Yeah, no, I like Ghost. I think I think of all of them, like I said, I think Yelena. Well, I mean, it's the Yelena film, really, isn't it? This is almost Black Widow 2 in a way. But yeah, I think Ghost was probably like she just felt more normal than the others.
Yeah.
Which was quite nice. But yeah, no, I liked Ghost previously as well. Like I think I kind of like the more broken people, I guess. Like, do you know what I mean? Where she's a bit more rather than just being like, yeah, we're heroic. Woo! Like I like the fact that she was a mess basically and like trying to survive and all that, and we had the whole thing with Ant-Man. Yeah, no, I really like her. I like the sort of abilities and the.
She's cool.
She had good chemistry with everyone as well, didn't she? 100%. She was almost like the straight in the gentleness of the rest of the team.
Totally agree. The one that kind of let me down a bit was Bucky Barnes, unfortunately. I just didn't...
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I love Bucky, but I feel like they've got to a point now where they don't know what they're doing with him, and they're just chucking him in when they can, and I'm getting a bit like, that's fine, but do you not remember when this guy was, like, the top dog in MCU for, like, a while, and now it's just kind of like, oh, he ran for mayor or something for a bit, and now he's doing this. I'm just like, I just wish they'd kind of get back to this guy was the badass of MCU for so long, and now all of a sudden it's just kind of chucking him in a bit, and I'm like, I don't know. I think going forward we're obviously going to get a lot more, but this just kind of felt like they chucked him in because they could.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree slightly. I think this was his film, and I think they chucked him in Captain America, which made it worse because we've seen him so much recently. And I think, like, we kind of discussed this, that scene in Captain America 100% felt like that was a real last minute
that was a reshoot
thing where they just
sure,
kind of went, oh, okay, like just chuck him in there. 100%. And I think had we not had that, this probably wouldn't have been so like not offensive, but so much like
I actually agree with you there. Yeah, forgot about that.
Getting back-to-back films where we just got like bits of Bucky, where it's just kind of like, oh, he's there, cool. I preferred him in this, obviously. He was actually in this, and he was I mean, he's Bucky in it. He is class.
Yeah,
I kind of feels a bit like he's going back. Again, there's a lot we missed there. Like the whole like, oh, I'm a kind of mayor or whatever he is now.
That plotline I don't care about at all.
No, but it feels like he's kind of coming back now because I think even they had the sort of like the political people and they were all kind of taking a piss at him basically, weren't they? So yeah, it feels like we're kind of going back to old Bucky, which would be good.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, he was fine. I understand the criticism, but I think he was fine.
I mean, let's talk some of the action in this film. There's not much. This is a very light on action film, which I thought I mean, your opinion probably differs to mine, but I thought I'd have a lot more of a problem with it than I ended up having. So you get that opening action scene where they first all meet. I thought that bit was really cool. I really liked that. But it did that. Like I just noticed that none of these have powers, and it's just a lot of guns and punching. And I was a bit like, okay, there's only so much we can do with this, but it was good for the first bit. Then I think it's not until the limo bit where you get Rad Guardian driving them all in the limo and Bucky turns up on the bike. I think that's the next action scene, and that's quite a jump. You get quite a bit before.
Yeah.
Another cool scene, but it was showcasing the trailers so much where I was just like, okay, I've seen this bit. That's fine. Do you know what I mean? It was a cool scene, but was literally all over the trailers. And then you pretty much just get the third act, which again isn't majorly action. It's a lot of drama and a lot of emotional parts because deep down this is a story about mental health and depression, which really shocked me. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's mad. Very cool though.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of that, isn't it? Like it's sort of, and I guess it kind of makes sense because these are all the like misfits, aren't they? These are all the kind of the bad guys outside of Elena and Red Guardian. I think they're all previous bad guys, if I'm correct. So yeah, this is very much like they kind of all got their little stories going on there where they're all kind of hiding some. I think outside of Ghost the only one who didn't really have.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about Ghost.
But there wasn't really like much of backstory because obviously you had fake Captain America who was sort of like pretending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool story. The fact that he was like, "Oh, my wife and kids, blah blah blah," and
Yeah.
it turns out that he'd
They'd
kind of
left
screwed
him.
all that up, and
Yeah.
yeah, they left him. And then like yeah, Yelena's kind of dealing with the fact that she's just a weapon, basically,
She
isn't she?
killed
Like
someone
she
as a
was
child,
kind of
essentially, didn't she?
yeah, like she kind of was battling again, a bit of an odd story, really, wasn't it? Because she was sort of like battling with her own demons and well, like demon, just the fact that she's bored. That's all
Yeah.
she really
Yeah.
was. Like as much as she's going around killing people, she was just like, I'm bored of doing this,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to be in the limelight now. So I was a bit like,
Yeah.
okay, like, eh. But I mean, obviously, this is, I mean, Sentry is what makes this film really. I think if it wasn't for him, this would be probably one of my least favorite.
Oh wow.
But when he kicks in and like that final, I mean, his power
Sick.
is
It's wild.
brutal.
It's wild. The
Like,
kid, the fucking little child. I was like, what
I
the fuck?
loved, I loved the fact that that's kind of what it was though, because it's not even as much as that whole fight in the when they're upstairs in the
Yeah.
thing and he's just battering them. Like that was really sick. But to see him just go like full dark mode basically, and it was so, it was like the snap, wasn't it? In a
Yes.
way,
Yeah.
like it was that like I think it's the fact that it wasn't him just punching holes through people,
Hundred
and
percent.
it was just like there's nothing you could do about it. If you end up in the darkness, you disappear,
And I
and
mean,
that is
his
it.
design when he's Sentry, or like
Yeah,
the Dark Sentry,
yeah,
that
the
was
dark
fucking
sentry,
amazing.
yeah, with the little eyes and that,
Oh,
like,
so
yeah, no,
cool.
he looked so cool, like, and yeah, I think the fact that it was so sudden and just like brutal was, yeah, like that whole sort of final act. So again, I wasn't really a big fan of the way they kind of got him out of it.
Yeah, I
I found
agree.
it a little cheesy and a
Yeah.
little like, oh,
I totally
okay,
agree. It
like
was
fair
basically
enough.
getting him out with the power of friendship, but I was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, I think there was just a bit of like, oh, okay, guys. Yeah, I guess it was kind of interesting. But yeah, I loved him. I think this is 100% his Angelena's, but mainly his film, and I think it's probably the best introduction to a character we've had in quite a while.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy, he's gonna do some damage going forward, isn't he? If he has to go back to like flip into the dark side,
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be a big problem for something. So I'm looking forward to see what they end up doing with him specifically. Let's just talk the end bits, and these are the kind of the big spoilers of the film. Like they obviously win against Sentry. He comes back to being Bob, and then it's revealed the film is actually, well, it's called the New Avengers. They're now the New Avengers.
Yeah, I
Which,
mean it's everywhere now, isn't
yeah,
it?
I said Dark Avengers. That was my prediction. I
Yeah.
was just off. But when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, what? These are the Avengers?" But then they kind of, the more I think about it, and what did they say? Was it Sam Wilson has copyrighted the word like the
Yeah.
Avengers, so they
Yeah.
couldn't be the Avengers anyway,
Yeah.
which I thought was very clever. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to be good going forward. I think this little team is actually going to be pretty good as we hit Doomsday and stuff like that. I just don't know how the fuck they're going to last in a film like that where they are just humans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they go into mainly survive. I mean, they're not just, are they? Because obviously, fake Captain America is technically a super
Yeah,
soldier.
he's got the super serum, hasn't he?
Ghost can kind of turn invisible, I
Yeah,
guess.
she
I mean, yeah,
do.
Elena's screwed, but so was Black Widow supposed to be, and she lasted for years.
That's
So
very true.
you kind of, the humans kind of do tend to survive. Yeah, like I'm enjoying the setup. Like it's stupid because I think I'm enjoying the films as a whole less, but I'm enjoying the bigger story. Like it's very much we're on track in it again. Like this is kind of what I said with Captain America. Like we're kind of this is setting up now for Secret Wars. As much as kind of got Doomsday first, it's very much like all of a sudden these factions are appearing, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you've got
Yes.
the new Avengers, you've got like Sam's gonna take his own Falcon, not Captain America, Falcon. He's going to take his own team and he's going to like create like a different version of the Avengers. So I think we're going to end up with like a few different groups, and that's going to kind of what's going to be instigating, or I don't know if it's going to be instigating. However, the Secret Wars thing is going to work. I think that's where we'll see these
Yeah.
groups end up like fighting and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting in that sense. It's just a bit like
Well, let's be
okay,
honest. This has been a mess for a long time now, isn't it? Like
yeah,
realistically, in the last two films is where the setup has gone.
yeah,
But like, I
yeah,
feel like they're just now going take this one and take this one because we haven't
yeah,
done anything in so long. Everything's
yeah,
been so up and down that they're just like forcing this setup, and that's my issue with it. It's starting to
yeah.
feel a bit forced. I want it to just feel a bit more organic, and I've got a feeling. I mean, I'm holding Fantastic Four like up here, like that is my most anticipated film of the year,
100%.
and I think that's going to be the one where I go, fuck, okay, we're on, we're ready. I can't wait to see where we go, because right now I'm like, oh, I'm very excited for Doomsday, but what's going to happen? Who's going to do it? Where? But I think when Fantastic Four comes and we see where that goes, I think that's going to be the one that kicks it in, and I go, I see. So, unfortunately, all my hope lays on Fantastic Four, and if that film isn't as good as I think, I'm going to be so upset. But I just, the mess where, like, I think we say this in every Marvel video, we have no problem with Marvel, but this setup going forward is just, it's just like, it's taken so long, and now they've chucked it all at us. So I just hope when we get to the big events, it actually works, and it's good, and it doesn't feel too forced. That's my thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I can understand. I think Fantastic Four is going to be a great film. I think it's going to be a Fantastic Four film until the end, if that kind of makes sense.
Yes,
I think it's going to be very much a film within its own kind of world, really, because it is obviously set in the past and all this sort of stuff. So I think it's just going to be like a film, and then by the end, then obviously they're going to end up in the current universe. So how they get there and how all that sort of stuff happens, I think that's going to be like, I think the post credit for this is going to be like the big setup for Doomsday. I wouldn't be surprised if Fantastic Four's post credit is Downey Jr. or is Doomsday. So I think I completely agree. I think it is kind of forced, and that's maybe something that's like turning me off slightly in a way. Like, do you know what I mean? Where it sort of feels a bit like, as I said, I'm glad that we're kind of on track. But it also feels a bit like, what was the point in the last 10 films or so?
I completely agree. And I think that's the bigger issue with this all now.
Yeah, as much as I enjoyed them, they were all just stories, and it feels a bit jarring now to be so like
focused on this is it.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of losing it slightly. But again, as you said, I think hopefully this is a wake up call now. We get Doomsday slaps, so we get Secret Wars and do Secret Wars slaps, and then we kind of end up here again, where it's sort of like they've kind of learned and they've gone, right, okay, we need focus. We need to have these big films planned, and be aiming towards that rather than kind of rushing right at the end. We're dropping, like, we've gone from having one or two films a year to 3 in a year, all focusing on a big one in another year, and it's like, whoa, so I think it's a bit all over the shop, but still a lot to look forward to. It was another Marvel film. I think it's kind of it felt like we got two out the way for the big two in a way. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like we've got these two done now. We've got Captain America done, which is set up. We've got this done, which is set up another sort of angle. And then, we've got Fantastic Four and Doomsday, which are the kind of the ones that everyone's looking forward to.
Spider-Man fits in there somewhere, doesn't it?
I think that's after Doomsday, isn't it? So I think, like, the next two are really... And, and as you said, and Spider-Man, and then we're going to Secret Wars. We've kind of got, like, bigs now, innit? Like, everything that's coming out are going to be huge. Good setups, interesting, and obviously we haven't really touched upon it, but there is the post-credit scene.
Which
it's not really a spoiler because it's literally just
we all knew it was coming. Let's be honest. I loved it though. Like,
it's cool.
I really like this. Like, as I think you already called it a long time ago, which is great. But what I liked about it was I found out that the Russo brothers directed this little tiny post-credit scene. Like, they just did it for their new film, and it just felt good. Like, to hear that Fantastic Four theme kick in, and they see the ship and it turns around, and this is a year and a half after Thunderbolts, so they've been the Avengers for 16 months, and then Fantastic Four are coming in. So clearly in Fantastic Four they're going to lose, and then they're going to come to the current universe, which
possibly
I think it's
I think that's a guarantee, but it's possibly
it's gonna be cool though. Like, I thought this was a really good tease for Fantastic Four, because it does set up the thought of, oh my god, what if they actually lose, or what if something goes wrong, and I really like that. It's been a while where I've seen a post-credit scene that actually makes me think and go, fuck, that's so interesting. So I thought this was a really good one, really good.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I have my own theories on where Doom comes from, but I mean, there's as I said, I'm very much looking forward to Fantastic Four, and I am looking forward, because obviously it's almost like a sort of film now where we know the ending, so it's going to be fascinating to see how we get there.
100%.
yeah, no, I think it's going to be a good film, but I have no idea what it's going to be.
I
So
agree.
I'm sort of like I'm looking forward to seeing how they do it and how they end up bringing them forward. But yeah, and hopefully then it kind of makes all sense, and
Totally.
away we go for Doomsday. Then like the hype
I
is
know,
still
yeah.
very much on for Doomsday, and it just I think that's kind of my problems. I'm just sort of like, come on now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I kind of want Doomsday now, so it's like we're just kind of getting through films, and it's like, oh yeah, okay.
It's
I
like waiting
just
for
kind of
Christmas
want
today.
it.
You're like waiting every day. You're like,
Yeah,
come
do you know what I
on.
mean? It's just sort of like, oh, come on. And obviously, like, that's the point. Again, I'm very much looking forward to it. But yeah, I think it's just sort of like, I want to get these films out the way
Yeah.
now so we can go full steam into the Doomsday hype.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So let's just what you rate in Thunderbolts out of 5? What are you saying?
2.5.
Oh, that's so sad. That is so
Yeah,
sad.
it's just mega mid, man. Like as I said, I've got no real interest to rewatch it.
Mm.
It was fine. As I said, I think to have like at least half, maybe even 2/3 the film where I was genuinely quite bored. Like I can't
Yeah, no,
really
I
give it, and I thought the ending was much as it jumped a lot. Like it went a lot better at the end. I was still not like, oh my god, like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't good enough to push it. Like, it wasn't like a 2 and then a 5, for example. It was like a 2 to a 4.
yeah.
3.5. So yeah, I think 2.5, like right in the middle.
Fair, very fair. Yeah, it's a 4 for me. I really ended up enjoying it. I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun with it, and I do want to watch it again, just because I actually liked the team a lot more than I expected to by the end of it, and it did feel exciting. For the first time in a while, I've kind of gone, oh my god, I can't wait to see what happens to these guys next and where we're next going. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. 4, but 4,
Nice, man. Nice. No,
fantastic
it's nice.
4.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? How we flipped.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah. You've been a real Marvel hater this year.
I have. Yeah, I know. I have. Watch Superman drop, and I'll be like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen."
And I'll be like, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just grumpy at the moment, but yeah. Hopefully, come Fantastic Four, I'll be a bit more enthusiastic,
Hopefully,
and I'll be
yeah.
like, "Yeah, 10 out
It's
of
back,
5. Come
cinema."
on."
Well, yeah, anyway, if you've seen Thunderbolts, let us know what you thought down below. If you haven't, you may as well go see it, even though it's been spoiled to fucking hell and back everywhere now. So,
Yeah,
that's
no,
just
it
what
really has.
Marvel waits a day and then they go, but this is real. I'm like, oh,
Here's the
great,
film.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you next time.
Bye.